The story of humanity on planet Earth. Every day, if we will allow it to be so, is another beautiful day in paradise. What is paradise? It is a state of bliss, of felicity, a state of constant, continuous delight. Paradise is our natural state beyond the veil. In our oneness, in the heavenly flow of the electromagnetic energy of God love, we are in paradise. We are one with God and one with each other. We feel bliss, for that is what we are, a part of a great flowing, a divine stream of love. Love, the blissful energy that powers the universe. We revelled in our oneness together, in our communion and camaraderie. We were telepathic, communing with each other, like minds, like souls in their loving knowingness, happy and content. Love, God, all that is constantly expanding itself and moving to further, divine heights of bliss and felicity. We, as fragments of God, as particles of divine consciousness, also have a great desire, a commitment to expansion in the love vibration, to extending ourselves to greater heights of love. This is why the material realm was created. In our heavenly beingness, we were indeed content and happy. We wanted for nothing. All was very well in our world. And yet we felt the call for expansion. We felt the deep call to ascend. And we knew that to do so, we needed to place a part of our great divine spirit, our soul, into a human body. We felt the need to be born into the material realm and to experience the opposite of love. How can one know what one has until one no longer has it? How can one know how wonderful it is to be rich until one is poor? How can one know the comfort of health until one is unwell? How can one know the delight of communion and camaraderie until one is alone and desperately lonely? So it is with love. One cannot know the great wonder of divine, unconditional love in all its depths and glory until one has experienced the opposite. That is what we came to Earth to do. That is why the Earth was designed with its yin and yang, its dark and light actors. Yes, this Earth is akin to a great Shakespearean tragedy, comedy stage. All the actors on this stage are from God, particles of God consciousness, ensconced in human bodies, for there is nothing outside God. All have from their spirit state, in the oneness of divinity, volunteered to come to Earth. The history of planet Earth is complicated indeed. Many galactic beings over the eons of Earth's history have visited. Many have played their part in manipulating the flora and fauna, in manipulating humanity, in changing humanity's DNA. Let us simplify the story. Mankind, those humans that have been reincarnating on Earth for untold generations, constitute the majority of those who are living on Earth today. They have lived on this planet for eons, for a multitude of human lifetimes, reincarnating over and over again. These humans are basically kind. They nurture their children. They want the best for themselves and their family. Left in their natural state without indoctrination or entrainment, Earth would be a kindly place, for as the description says, mankind is basically kind. Humanity is basically humane. Yet what would be learnt from this union of human brethren? Love would not be furthered by such a contented state. So came the Dark Ones. They have been called by many names: the Shadow Government, the Illuminati, the Dark Cabal, the Powers that Be, the Controllers. They thought of themselves as superior, whereas mankind was service to others, kindness and compassion. The controllers were totally service to self and power over others. They were evil. Together, they were the devil that beleaguered mankind. For they saw how with words, how with the indoctrination of negative ideas, how with torture, pain, blackmail, fear and greed, they could manipulate humanity to serve their purposes. And so they set up systems to confine, constrain, and stress their human victims. Humanity were victims indeed, living in fear at the whim of the so-called aristocracy, expected to bow down to the superior ones, expected to suffer, fear all and everything around them, and know their place. Such very dark times were experienced. Crucifixion, slavery, torture, starvation, rape, pillaging, theft became the order of the day. Mankind were treated as sheeple. The dark ones were as cats playing with mice before striking the inevitable deathly blow. And the situation went on for eons, and certainly mankind has experienced all they came to experience that is not love. Certainly their souls, their great communal spirit, in witnessing all the earthly pain and fear, has grown in their knowing of the wonder of love. Yes, the powers that be, the dark ones, were highly successful in carrying out their agenda, in confining mankind to a painful existence on planet Earth. Planet Earth became a painful prison planet for humanity. The situation was dark and threatening indeed. The Dark Ones became so drunk in their power that they threatened to destroy the planet and all its inhabitants. World wars were created, where the Dark Ones financed both sides and became unbelievably wealthy. A medical system was designed and doctors educated to dispense medicines that worked on the symptoms, not the disease. Holistic practitioners were persecuted and killed. Taxes were introduced that led to poverty and homelessness. The tentacles of the deep state went deep into all levels of society. Politicians, police, doctors, lawyers were all bribed, blackmailed, threatened to bring them into conformity, to make them toe the official dark and devious line. People lived in fear of anything and everything. No one could be trusted. Earth and humanity were in deep difficulty. And then came the time of the Great Awakening, predicted by all great philosophies, all great gurus. The time for the release of humanity from their impossible entrainment into darkness was at hand. Yet how to release them? For they were so deeply entrenched in their earthly journey. They were so deeply indoctrinated. And so it was time for the light workers, the way showers, to come to earth. That is, it was time for you, our dear hearts, to volunteer your aid, your love, your powerful light to the earth. Yes, the call went out beyond the veil to the great spirits there. Planet Earth is in difficulty. Who will help? You put up your hand. You volunteered. You knew it would be difficult, but you did not know how difficult it would be. Many of you had not had previous lifetimes on Earth. You came fresh from beyond the veil, fresh from the high-vibrating love frequency of heaven to this dark and difficult world. Some of you had had previous lifetimes on Earth and ascended, and you volunteered to come back to Earth, even though you did not need to do so, for you had dealt with your karma. You are all brave souls. You, dear brethren, dear friends, have had very difficult, very challenging lives, for you have been empathic, compassionate, kind and loving. You have been looking for love and found it not. Your human brethren were so entrained, indoctrinated into negativity, you couldn't understand. You flailed about as you were insulted, as you were denigrated, as you were laughed at, contemptuously. Suicide seemed like the only escape, and some did commit suicide. Yet the majority of you prevailed. Against all odds, you spread your love and light. You radiated compassion and kindness, and you lifted the vibration of the world. The first wave of volunteers who came in with the Second World War had the most difficult time. They raised the vibration for the second and third waves of volunteers. And now your work, all you fabulous light workers, way showers, has borne fruit, for we are in the midst of the great revelation of the duplicity, the control, the manipulation of the dark ones. The earth is being lifted to the vibration of love. Mankind is being shown the perception-deception under which it has lived. Only in the seeing of the perfidy of the dark ones can humanity claim its sovereignty and forgive all. Claiming sovereignty and forgiveness are necessary for ascension into the love vibration. Many are awakening as the times of turbulence proceed, yet many more have still to see the truth. They will awaken with a great shock. They will see how they have been duped. They will be angry, upset, and lost. And so they will need your help, our dear way-showers. You have lifted the world's frequency to make ascension possible. You have brought the radiance of light to planet Earth. And now you will help your brethren out of their miserable entrainment. The best is yet to come, dear hearts. The best is yet to come. Your kindness, your compassion will rule the day for all in the wonderful new world that is to come. That was Ita, channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings indeed.